also may be manifested in us. For we who live are always delivered to death for Jesus' sake, that the life of Jesus also may be manifested in our mortal flesh. So then, death is working in us, but life in you. So then, death is working in us, but life in you. Now, look at how God is able to use the paradoxes of life. He even brings about an awareness of how grace is manifested in a paradox. So when I consider the paradox of grace, I recognize that a paradox is an extreme situation that would somehow not have the expected outcome, but upon research or upon discovery, it brings us to the awareness of its truth. Paradox is something that you would not think to be real or to be consistent with what it is that you deem to be relevant in life. And I found if ever there was anyone that could speak paradoxes better than anyone else, it would be mothers. I remember my mother told me one time, I'm mad as the devil, and I'm going to beat the devil out of you. And that was a paradox because you're mad as the devil, but yet you want to beat him out of me. That in the way of trying to connect what seemingly would be an untruth, but yet after she whooped me, it certainly was a reality. He was not there anymore. And I would venture to say that in the same way that when God takes those things that would seemingly be inconsistent, incongruent, and yet he manifests and brings about a truth and a reality. It's interesting because the writer of this book, Paul, beginning in verse number 1, tells us that there is a hope that we have. And he said, since we have this ministry and we have received this mercy, we do not lose heart. Isn't it interesting that when God brings to our awareness the paradox of grace, he uses a vessel, he uses an object to give us the virtual picture of how he's able to provide that grace. Well, he said that we have this ministry that was given by God's mercy. It's interesting because if you know the story of Paul, you would know that Paul actually was